Hey, Sammer.
Hey, Jen.
What are you listening to this week? Welcome to What Are You Listening To This Week, the weekly podcast where we talk about our favorite songs. Some old, some new, all good. I'm Jenn Tully, and this week I'm joined by Sammer Abousalbi, who you know from Super Awesome Mix. So, let's get started. Sammer, what are you listening to this week?
Hey, Jen. Well, I am listening to two songs this week that I've had on repeat all week long. I feel like I've never been more prepared for a recording because literally it's like my preparation is just me waking up and pressing play on these songs basically and listening to them over and over again. But I will say, and I think you kind of commented on this before the recording, I asked myself, like, am I okay because of my two picks? And I just want to get ahead of that and let you know I'm okay, Jen. I'm okay.
Okay, good. Good.
Yeah.
I was a little bit worried about you when I saw your songs and listened.
All right, well, I'm going to kick us off with my first pick, The Search by NF. So I discovered this song actually from either a reel or a TikTok video, which I'm learning is like a great way to discover like a lot of music because like so much content out there and people pick some really cool songs. But this was like such a cool like song to, I don't know, for me to discover because it was one of those moments where, and I'm sure everyone's had this experience, you hear a song you've never heard before or an artist you've never heard before and something just clicks in your mind and you're like, oh my God, I love everything about this. I have to go and like find out who this is and listen to everything that they're doing. And that was my experience with NF. So I've been listening to a lot of his work. One of my favorite albums of his is actually, I think one of his most recent one, The Clouds mixtape. That one has some amazing tracks on it. But what I really love about this song in particular is honestly just like how personal it is and like how deep he gets with the lyrics. And there's some lyrics in particular I'll get into in a moment. But I'm curious if you had a chance to listen. What do you think?
I did. And you know what? I loved it. Same thing. After I heard this song, I kind of took a deep dive and, initial first impression where he really, really reminded me of Eminem. And so
Yes.
I was doing some, background work and learned that he's also from Michigan. And so I think that there's definitely a specific sound maybe that comes out of that area. But I just think too, he's just like lyrically, just so many lyrics, so deep. I almost thought of it a little bit as like therapy rap, they have like
Yes.
scam rap and all the other things right now. I'm like, this is like therapy rap, right? You can use this.
I mean, that's that. If you didn't discover, he actually has an album. I believe it's called Therapy Session. Certainly a song called that, or it's called Therapy. So yeah, I think that's spot on. That's what I love about it is like he's not afraid. Like I feel like his rap is like his form of therapy, right? It's not just maybe a listener's form, because he really goes deep into some of like the things that he deals with. But one lyric that I really want to call out, that like is the reason I listen to this particular song of his over and over, is it's not just a lyric; it's several lines. So bear with me. But he writes here. The point I'm making is the mind is a powerful place, and what you feed it can affect you in a powerful way. It's pretty cool, right? Yeah, but it's not always safe. Just hang with me. This will only take a moment, okay? Just think about for a second, if you look at your face every day when you get up and think you'll never be great, you'll never be great. Not because you're not, but the hate will always find a way to cut up and murder your faith. And like, oh, that hit me so hard because I think that, everyone kind of struggles with being your own worst enemy. And sometimes, especially when you're building something, you're doing something creative or pushing for a goal, you look at yourself and you cast doubt and you wonder, like, who are you to do this? And is it even possible? And like, you're ridiculous for thinking this. And like, we are so mean to ourselves in a way that we'd never be mean to like our friends. And so this, this little part of his song, every time I hear it, it hits me really hard. And it's a good reminder to like give yourself some self-love. So yeah.
So true. So true. And as we go through this mix, I think I was thinking, I'm like, we could call this mix, The Mind is a Powerful Place, right? Like,
I like
once
that.
we get through the end, it's really, I feel like all of these songs, even though we didn't coordinate beforehand, really kind of go there. And he had so many lyrics that were deep and amazing. So yes, The Search by NF is a new on repeat song for me as well. Tell me what you picked for your second song. What else are you listening to?
Yeah, so Arcade Fire has a new album out called We, and honestly, I've been
Yay.
listening to the whole album. I know it's so good, but one song in particular is on repeat for me over and over again, and that's "End of the Empire 4" parentheses Sagittarius A, which I learned is actually pronounced A star. This A asterisk is how it's written, which is of course, yeah, I know, fun fact, which is of course a named after the supermassive black hole in our galaxy, which crazy enough at the time of this recording they just took pictures of for the first time ever, so definitely go and search for that. It's pretty mind-blowing. But this song I think is like, and this whole album, like, just, I don't know, it's like the album I needed to hear these days. He kind of picks apart a lot of what I would call the modern human condition, right? Like a lot of things we're dealing with. Obviously the pandemic has been really hard. There's a lot of isolation, there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of technology in our lives, and I think that each of these songs, like the first opening tracks here is Age of Anxiety on the album, right? And I think that that's like a great kind of term for what we're dealing with. But this song in particular, like, I just think it's I don't know, it's like my mood basically. I'm wrapped into a song. I think the lyrics again are really powerful. They sit with me. It reminds me a lot of Interstellar, and this is our 10 or 15-year-old spoiler alert right here for the movie Interstellar.
Right.
But go watch it real quick and then come back and hit play on this. But like it's suggesting that like at the other end of a black hole there's like something better for us, right? There's hope. And that's why I'm drawn to this song too. And I just think that even though like a lot of this song in particular and a lot of the lyrics could be down, again, I think there's a glimmer of hope there, and that really is like the human condition. Despite all the darkness, like we still seek the light. So I really love this track.
I completely agree. I too am a giant Arcade Fire fan, so was really happy about this new album. And I agree. I love the comparison to Interstellar. It reminds me of something I've been saying. Post pandemic is we hear a lot of people talking about when are things going to get back to normal? When are things going to get back to normal? And I'm thinking, I don't know that I want to go back to normal. I think I want to go forward to better.
I love that.
And that's sort of what this reminded me of. Like, the possibilities are limitless. Like, if you do unsubscribe, that's sort of repeated throughout the song. You can get to a place that's a little more elevated and a little less full of like garbage, which I think sometimes you just have to hit reset. You have to clear that away and move to the other side of it. And I think this song just captures an entire mood. I think I said this to you earlier too. Like, there are concept albums and then there's Arcade Fire. Like, they always bring it, and they always do something totally cool and totally different. And this album, We, is no different.
I also love the note in there when he says F season 5, like kind of a nod to their fifth album, which was kind of like people didn't like apparently. So I really like that, they're like self-aware of that. But they knocked this one out of the park. It's really, really good. I wouldn't be surprised if it wins a bunch of Grammys again in this next year.
Agreed. Yeah.
Well, that's what I've been listening to. What have you been listening to?
Well, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, I think this could have been called The Mind is a Powerful Place, because you and I must be living in the same kind of space, Sammer. We had really sort of similar moods around these songs. And I think my first pick is a song called Wreckage by Best Coast. I love this song. I love this band. I think Bethany Cosentino, the lead singer, is just super cool. She's a girl I'd like to hang out with. She's just, her lyrics are great. I feel like she goes deep. She's been through a lot, you can tell, in the way she writes. But Wreckage for me is what we were just talking about, sort of that self-sabotage, right? We spend so much time like telling ourselves we can't do something or apologizing. I think that was something else I noticed, is that Wreckage opens up with an apology, and then The Search has a section. It's not the opener, but it's a few lines in where he says, I'm sorry, I'm fine, it's fine. Right. I think we do that a lot, and we are trying to make sure it's okay for everybody else. And again, we sort of self-sabotage in the process of doing that. And so I love the message here in Wreckage. She's really just saying like, look, now that everything's burned down, I can put it all to bed. You can just start over. I love that lyric. I think it's powerful. I love the message in this song. So this is one that's been on repeat all week, and it's one that I'll put down and then come back to and have it on repeat again for another week.
That's awesome. The lines that really stood out to me, and of course now that I'm reading them, of course I picked these, but coming back to that doubt thing. But she writes, "So if I'm good now, then why do I feel like a failure almost every day? And if I'm wise now, then why do I feel like I'm lying straight to your face?" And again, it's just that like that theme of like I don't know, imposter syndrome and not feeling okay and all of that. So I think is really powerful. That wrapped in like a song that to me kind of had like it was like a cool 90s kind of vibe, like 90s rock vibe to it. I felt like I should be like driving around in like a convertible with the top down, just like starting to feel good about myself listening to it. It's like a kind of a driving anthem song. So I really liked it. It was a cool pick.
Totally. And, the Best Coast is obviously a reference to California, where the band's from. Apologies, New York Sammer.
Right.
But I think it really has a California feel, too. It's like you said, you can kind of feel the sunshine coming through this song that really is dealing with some pretty serious self-sabotage. So I also like that kind of juxtaposition of the song. And then to finish out, our list here, my second song that I've had on repeat this week is another banger. How's that for, again, pulling up an old term? But it's a song called "Figure It Out" by the band Royal Blood. And this is a band that I love, love, love in all ways. Royal Blood is one, if I'm feeling down, if I'm feeling not ready to go in for a workout and, need some pumping up, this song, or any song actually from Royal Blood, but this one in particular is one that I can always count on to get me in that fighting mood. And again, this is another one where it's about, somebody feeling like they're maybe not qualified to be in the relationship that they're in. I'm not sure if you've ever felt that way, where you're in a relationship with somebody and you feel like, man, they've got it all figured out. They know what they're doing and I know nothing, and that just takes me back to some of those early days of dating when I listened to this song and remembering like all of the excitement and amazement that you're feeling while at the same time kind of freaking out because you don't really know how to be in a relationship and you don't really know how to be in a new city and you don't really know how to do your job. You're just sort of faking it all.
Totally, yeah. I love that. It almost reminds me of like, this would be like the really hard rock, like, I mean, obviously it's hard rock, but like the hard rock version of Tal Bachman's She's So High, like thematically, like that one is like really sweet of like this kid of like, oh my God, she's so amazing. She's on this pedestal. Like I could never, be with her. Or like Wheatus's Teenage Dirtbag, another amazing track. But yeah, this is like Royal Blood's take on that, which I adore because I love Royal Blood. They rock so hard. They kind of remind me of like Queens of the Stone Age and Muse and like other bands that I listen to all the time. So I discovered Royal Blood like a couple years ago and I was like, I cannot believe I didn't know about them sooner. Like these guys are awesome. And they had a new album last year and I think it actually made my like best of 2021 mix. I still listen to it all the time, like Typhoons and a number of other Troubles Coming. Like that's one of my wake up anthems.
So good.
I like the idea of, causing trouble, right? So
well, and Honey Brains I think is a single they just released, which makes me hopeful that we have an album coming from Royal Blood. And if you've not ever seen them live, they bring it just the way you'd expect them to. So they're also a great band to see live that I can't wait to hear a full new album from them because like you, I'm a huge fan as well. Well, I think that we really, we covered a lot. We went there. We did some soul searching. We discovered some relationship flaws. We have talked about self-sabotage. I mean, we went kind of deep here, Sammer, for a first episode.
we sure did, all in a cool 15 minutes, just another day at Super Awesome Mix.
Well, Sammer, thank you so much for sharing what you're listening to this week. And to our listeners, join us again next week to find your new favorite song.